Hello! I hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. I thought we'd start out with a little tarot. Today we're going to be working on Psalm, I think 34, did I say I was going to do? Psalm 32. Yeah, we're going to do a purification psalm, Psalm 32. So I thought I'd show you that you can also, before you start any kind of magic, you can just ask that infinite intelligence reveal to you that which you need to know about the working that you're about to undertake. So I'm going to do this for all of us, okay? So infinite intelligence now reveals to us that which we need to know before we work on this psalm of purification, to purify our deep mind of all thoughts that are hindering us, so that we no longer have to put up with situations in our lives that are unbecoming to children of love. All right, so let's do 2 more shuffles, and then we'll say that we know that our deck has been shuffled appropriately. And we know that these cards don't have any special powers. They're simply being used by our minds to communicate to us and with our deeper mind that which we need to know. I always do 2 very clean cuts into 3 piles, and then we're just going to ask to be shown what we need to know. Well, my. What it's telling us here is that, a lot of the seeds of what we desire have been planted in the past, and that in the purification process of doing this psalm, great wealth is released to us. So now the 10 of coins can be wealth in financial wealth. It's very common, but it can also be all good things in the material world. Now this is the penultimate card of success for us in the physical realm. So it's giving us that assurance that all the good that we've been asking for will come to fruition through the purification process of our deep mind. So it's definitely encouraging us to go forward with this operation. Now we could go deeper and deeper into this reading, but that's not necessary. I just wanted to show you how it's often a good idea to ask to be shown, to make sure that you're, on a path that's going to give you the most benefit. Okay, so let's make our talisman. We're going to purify our deep mind of all that is untrue. So we're going to just do a partial circle as we do, leaving some part of it open. I just use the top. Then we sign our names. I'm going to call the name of this talisman as I do all viewers. So we are all named. Okay, I always start out with some sort of peace, so I'm going to call it serenity. We're going to say, let's do serenity. Let's do holiness. That's a new one for us. We haven't done that before. But that's who you are. You are holy. You are a holy child of love. And then let's do joy, right? All right, so we're gonna combine all of those with hyphen, right? So that becomes like one thought. So all viewers now we're focusing the energy. We've trapped that energy by closing the circle, the energy of serenity, holiness, and joy. And then we're just going to put, today's Saturday, and I work with Uranus usually on Saturday. You can work with Saturn. Saturn's not a dangerous planet or a bad planet. He gets a bad rap. I just use Uranus because Uriel The angel of Uranus is one of my birth angels, a major birth angel of mine. So it just tends to be my go-to. But Saturn is fine. Okay? Now, I guess I need to get the candle, but that's okay. I'll do that in a second. So I have some verbena cologne, as I have. We've talked about that before. It's all-purpose. And I do have some mimosa cologne that I've found. And that's sacred to Uranus, to Uriel. And then I just use a white tea light. You can use colored candles. You can use 7-day jar candles. You can do anything you want, really. Anything that you want. I like to keep everything simple, but I've told you that before. I don't want the method to get star billing. I want the method to be as gentle and easy as possible so that I can move right into the work, which is more important to me than all the tools. I like enough tools to make it effective, but I want it to be down to the simplest possible expression of what I need to do. So that's just my method of working. All right, so Psalm 32, this is one of the purification psalms, and our goal is to purify our deep mind, right? So that we have serenity, holiness, and joy in place of whatever else is the problem. Now, these can be thoughts that we're purifying that we are aware of, and these can be thoughts that are just connected to the race consciousness that we have picked up and we didn't even realize. Okay, so we are asking for that. Now, what we do is we go through this once out loud as an incantation, and then we go through it line by line and try to do our best to discover some inner meanings of the psalm, to kind of unlock the psalm. That's where the magic is. And in unlocking the psalm, those little treasures, their little seeds, are deposited into our deep mind, and they grow and they replace all of the parts of our mind, those thought forms that are causing problems for us, and they replace those, and they shine forth like light shining in the darkness, and utterly destroy those dark thoughts. And then we have new thoughts that start to grow, and then they bear fruit in our lives. All right, so we recommend that everybody do one of these purification psalms. There's 7 that we use. There's many of them. There's more than just 7, but there's 7 standard ones that are used often, at least once a week. And if you're having a lot of trouble, maybe incorporate the purification psalms daily, even 2 or 3 times a day, until things clear up, and then just use it more as a prophylactic. All right, here we go. Psalm 32. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity, and in whose spirit there is no guile. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. Selah. I acknowledged my sin unto thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sin. Selah. For this shall every one that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Selah. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. Be ye not as the horse, or as the mule, which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, ye righteous, and shout for joy, sorry about that. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, ye righteous, and shout for joy, all ye that are upright in heart. And I just want to, just take notice that I made several mistakes, and you just do it. You just keep going. It doesn't matter. The Psalms are foolproof. If you do your best, you will always get results. And the results are maximal. So you don't get better results just because you've, been studying this longer. Everybody has the same results by using them appropriately. All right, so let's go through this. Blessed is he whose transgression is forgiven, whose sin is covered. Okay, so being blessed is our goal. That's what our stated goal in our talisman is as well. Being blessed in all things. That means that you don't have to put up with things in your life anymore. You are blessed. You are blessed beyond all recognition. All good is available unto you. And if your transgression is forgiven and your sin is covered, meaning that it's no longer there. Your sin is no longer there, and your transgression is gone. And that means that your mistakes, everybody makes mistakes. Everybody misses the mark. And that's the esoteric meaning of we are all sinners. It's not that you're an evil, awful person who needs to be punished. That's not what a sin is. A sin is an error in judgment, or that you tried something and you tried to get your needs met, and you were besieged with fear, and you did your best, but you kind of messed up. Or you really messed up, maybe. Maybe you really transgressed against someone. Maybe you did something awful, okay? What this is telling us is that you are blessed when your transgression is forgiven and your sin is covered. And you're blessed. Blessed is the man unto whom the Lord imputeth not iniquity. So the Lord means the law of cause and effect. There is no law greater than the law of cause and effect. That is the prime law. And no one, not even infinite intelligence, God himself, can violate the law of cause and effect. However, the law of cause and effect is always in operation, but it can be seen as to be on different levels. Because your cause, when you're transgressing and you're acting out of fear and making major mistakes and transgressions against yourself and against your other people, is the way that you transgress against God. Those effects, those causes are at a specific level, rate of vibration that are going to cause specific effects in your life, and that's called karma. Grace is not the reversal of the laws of cause and effect, although it can seem to be. It means that your cause is happening on a higher rate of vibration, which in turn causes the effect to be on a higher rate of vibration. And it looks as though, because through grace, that all of the effects of your previous causes are undone and erased. And in effect they are, but not because the law of cause and effect has been violated. It's because a new cause has taken place of the old ones, and that's the cause of forgiveness. Okay, so the Lord imputeth. He's not going to see you. He's not going to see your iniquity, is what that's saying. God is not looking at you as a sinner. God is looking at you as a blessed, holy child of herself, himself, themselves, itself. So since that's the case, if we bring our so-called sins, the darkest parts of ourselves, those evil thought forms that are wreaking havoc on our lives, if we bring them to the Lord, to this law, then the new causes of grace will supersede the old causes of karma, and we will be delivered from the effects of our own mistakes. and in whose spirit there is no guile. Now, in this case, guile means when you try to fix it all yourself, when you try to do everything yourself, when you leave it all to your own plans, and you don't include infinite intelligence in your plan, then what you're doing is you're trying to separate yourself off from infinite intelligence, from all life, right? That's a type of guile. It's a type of arrogance. I can handle this. Thanks God, I can handle this. And then what you're dealing with is the effects of all your own thinking and action. You are stuck in your own world of karma. There's no helping you until you decide to recognize, wait a minute, I need a new cause so I can get a better effect. And then there is no guile. When I kept silence, my bones waxed old through my roaring all the day long. Meaning, when you kept your silence, that's a negative form of denial. When you just pretended that it didn't happen, you stuffed it way down deep inside of you, and you're just like, okay, this will go away on its own. Well, we know how that works, right? For day and night thy hand was heavy upon me. My moisture is turned into the drought of summer. So it seems as if you're being punished by God, but you're not being punished by God. You're being punished by your own self, by your own actions. The cause and effect is not like punitive in the sense that there's nobody up there going, okay, you did this, now you get that. You did this, now you get that. It means that this flame is really hot, and if I stick my finger in it, it will burn, cause and effect. So if you continue to do the things which cause problems, you will continue to get the problems. And it seems as though God is punishing you, but God is not punishing me because I put my finger in a flame. I'm punishing myself by putting my finger in the flame and not recognizing my own my own participation in the law of cause and effect. And that's when you go into denial and you pretend like you had nothing to do with it, and you are the victim of the universe, and you are not acknowledging your own part in it. Now it takes a little turn here. It says, I acknowledged my sin unto thee, and mine iniquity have I not hid. I said, I will confess my transgressions unto the Lord, and thou forgavest the iniquity of my sins. Selah. Simple. That's always the case. It's not like God did it just for this person, but won't do it for you. It's like I say, it's just like oxygen. It works for everybody equally. That's what it means when the Bible says God is no respecter of persons. That means the law, think of the word Lord as law. Okay, it's impersonal in that regard, in that there's nobody. Hitler got to breathe and got the same effect from the oxygen as Mother Teresa got the same effect from the oxygen. Jesus got the same effect from the oxygen as whatever, Judas or whatever. So there's nobody for whom God's love does not apply. I don't care what you've done. The so-called punishments don't come from God. They come from the law of cause and effect and our misuse of it. That's all it is. But then when we take our mistakes to God, that means that we're rising in consciousness up into infinite intelligence, and that infinite intelligence is all power to heal and correct. Knows nothing but the solution to your problems, knows nothing but the reordering of your thoughts, knows nothing but bringing everything back into alignment with the pattern of ultimate good. And in so doing, all of the crooked places are made straight in your life. And it seems as though the law of cause and effect was reversed, but it wasn't. You just got in line with prime cause rather than your own individual little cause, which is, by the way, a type of idolatry. So thou shalt not have any other gods before me doesn't necessarily even mean like you won't worship Diana. It doesn't mean that. You can worship Diana as an expression of the one true power. Absolutely. Just like we use angels, you can use the Karnunos, you can pray to any god, and that's not what an idol is in the Bible. Okay, because even somebody that believes that their little statue is a god, yeah, in the Bible says don't do that. But even at least those people are trying to get into a higher power, right? So they're at least on the right track. Even though that's kind of silly that you think a statue has divinity, but at least you're trying to try to find a higher power instead of use your own guile. An idol is in esoteric terminology is simply that my personal world is more important than my life with infinite intelligence. So my problems are bigger than God. My disease is bigger than God. My debt is bigger than God. My whatever your problems are, that's an idol. And so, and it's not that God is going to punish you for worshiping an idol, but you punish yourself by worshiping the idol of sickness, the idol of debt, the idol of gossip, whatever. It's believing that those things are more powerful than God. That's all an idol means. And it's not that God is jealous in that he's going to be upset with you and hurl punishments at you. A jealous God simply means that God is all powerful, and that anything other than all power is not worthy of you as a child. And so go straight to the source when you have a problem, and don't make idols of your problems, and your problems will be solved due to the fact that you are bringing them to a higher cause than your own small-minded self. Hopefully that makes some sense. So acknowledging your sin to God is simply just saying, okay, I messed up, or I don't know why I've got these problems, but I'm certain that I've got at least some hand in it, and I'm willing to change the way I think. I'm willing to change the way I behave in order to fall in line with the cause that brings the effects that I want. I want the effects of joy, serenity, and holiness. I don't want the cause that brings the disease and the poverty and the ill will, right? So confessing, and now if you've known you've done something horrible, bring it to God. You will be forgiven. Obviously, if you've done something horrible to someone else, making amends with them is highly advisable, whether in person or not. But you, because if you don't make amends with them, then you're actually making them into an enemy, and then that's another cause that's going to have another effect. And and you know how that works. It can come out in all kinds of weird ways. When you suppress guilt, it can show up in your life in all kinds of odd ways that you didn't expect. So take all that guilt, let it come up, and let it be purified. You're not a guilty person, no matter what you've done. There's nothing that you've said or done or thought that is unforgivable. I don't care what it is. You are at your core a holy light. You are literally the light of this world. And the sooner that you get into understanding that, the better off we all will be, because then your light shines on the world rather than you being obsessed with your problems. For this shall every one that is godly pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. So it's everyone that is godly shall pray unto thee in a time when thou mayest be found. Well, what's a time that God may be found? Well, at your first of all, at your regularly scheduled times of magical working. You want a definite method of working that you do on a regular basis. And if you do it at the same times every day, it becomes routine, and routine is what your subconscious mind really responds well to. Think about practicing the piano, or practicing learning how to drive, or any repetitive thing that you do. And then once it becomes done to once you get to the point where you're doing it by heart, by heart. Remember, heart is an old Chaldean expression meaning the deep mind or the subconscious mind. When something is done by heart, you know something by heart, that means that the subconscious mind, the autonomic mind, has taken hold of it and it owns it and it has it and you've got it. So anything that you've done over and over and over again repetitiously becomes something that you literally own deep within your heart. And that's what we want to do with our magic. We want to take and do it every single day. And that is the best time when it says, in a time when thou mayest be found. Surely in the floods of great waters they shall not come nigh unto him. Meaning no matter what it is, if you're doing that, no matter what those old disasters were, they stop coming to you. Those old disasters, which were the effects of your wrong thinking and wrong actions, no longer come to you because you are now operating on a higher level of cause than you were before. This is a very important verse here coming up. Thou art my hiding place. Thou shalt preserve me from trouble. Thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. Okay, that is so important. This one is a good one just to memorize or to write down and carry with you. This is the ultimate in protection, because this is reminding us that infinite intelligence, infinite love is our hiding place, meaning that within that place, when we are in the energy of the supernal, when we have invoked that power of infinite love, infinite intelligence, infinite joy, then we are hidden from trouble. Meaning we are impervious to it. We are invisible to it. It doesn't come to us. It doesn't even know we're there. It can come right straight through us and doesn't even touch us. That's what that means. And thou shalt compass me about with songs of deliverance. That means that you are always in a sacred circle of protection. You are literally under the spell of the Almighty. You are under the God spell, which is, interestingly enough, what gospel translates to is God's spell. And you will, with songs of deliverance, meaning that your life becomes a melody of God, and you are constantly being delivered from the slings and arrows of outrageous, fortune. All of these little comings and goings of problems that seem to always plague us. We are then delivered from those, and they no longer touch us. At first, they just no longer bother us, and then later, as that becomes we are more habituated, the things themselves start going away and don't come around us anymore. I will instruct. Okay, now the person changes. Now this is God talking to you. I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shalt go. I will guide thee with mine eye. So God will instruct you. That means to be alert. You can always, when you're doing magic, you can always ask for a definite sign, a definite lead. Please guide me. Please guide me. You may hear things in your mind. You may get visions, you may have dreams, you may see like bumper stickers out of nowhere that are obviously the answer to your problem or your question. Okay, but whatever it is, you will be instructed. And the other thing too is when you take this verse, that means that you're going to take things one step at a time, one little thing at a time. You're going to do what is in front of you to do, and you are going to claim. You are going to claim. You don't go to God begging and pleading. No, you go claiming boldly. I am instructed from on high. Infinite intelligence instructs me and teaches me in its way and in which way I should go. Infinite intelligence instructs me and guides me with its eye, all-seeing eye. And so with every moment, rather than just reacting, you're going to condition yourself to say, I am now being guided from on high. I'm now being guided by my superconscious mind. I am now being guided with the eye of the Almighty, with infinite intelligence. And then when you claim that, then you start making new choices and you don't just react. And you see that your actions start to create very, very different results in the world. Be ye not as the horse or as the mule which have no understanding, whose mouth must be held in with bit and bridle, lest they come near unto thee. So you're not an automaton. You are not guided by the laws of instinct like animals are. Okay, you're here to make choices. That's why we get into so much trouble, is because we have free will. Our choices have consequences. That's why we have so many problems, is because of our freedom. But by the same token, that same freedom gives us the opportunity to listen to wisdom and to act differently. Then we also have the opportunity to have literally heaven on earth. So it's giving us a really clear instruction not to be instinctive, not to be reactive, but to be conscious and aware and allow ourselves to be guided, and then to make new decisions based on that guidance. Many sorrows shall be to the wicked, but he that trusteth in the Lord, mercy shall compass him about. That's the same thing that we've been talking about. The wicked meaning people that are cut off from their source, that want to do everything themselves, that are so obsessed with their situation in life, that judge by appearances. It's understandable. Now, when they say the wicked, I mean, that's kind of a mean thing to say, but this is very, very old terminology. Understand what the wicked means in esoteric terminology. We're all wicked when we decide that we are the center of the universe. We are all wicked when we believe that this debt is real, when we believe that this disease is real, when we believe that this argument is real, when we believe that this war is real, when we believe this disaster is real, right? Not to say that it's not real within three-dimensional reality, but if you believe that it's real, then you react to it on its own level, rather than finding a new cause so that you have grace. Now that may or may not change the physical universe in the way that you think you want it to be changed, but it will change your reaction to it. It will change your reaction to it. Now, remember that serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. So, you may or may not be able to change certain things in the world. That's completely debatable. All right, some people say yes, some people say no. It doesn't really matter. What can you change no matter what? Your thought. No one can force you to think a thought that you don't want to think. No, I don't care where you are. You can be in a dungeon, you can be on the rack, you can be in the middle of a deadly hurricane, and no one can force you to think a thought that's not your choice. Now, if you are like the horse and the mule, and you haven't conditioned yourself to think of God rather than to think instinctively, then when you are faced with a sudden problem, you're kind of out of luck, because you're not conditioned. There's no way that you're going to be able to think of the right thing. Or the opposite may be true, that's the thing, the very thing that finally gets you to, there's no atheist in a foxhole, right? But so the bottom line is that the sorrows shall be to the wicked, meaning the sorrows will be to those people that take life only on the terms of the lowest possible vibration of form, rather than understanding that cause is of the mind, and that if we have the highest cause, meaning infinite intelligence, as the cause in our life, the effects will ultimately change. And so the wicked is not looking to his source, but the one that trusteth in the Lord, or the law, mercy shall compass him about. So mercy meaning you're not going to have to contend with all of those old consequences like you did. It's as if your old troubles start to melt away. It's not that something occult and mystical happened. I mean, if you really understand the laws, it doesn't seem all that mystical. It just is that you've tuned your dial to a stronger signal, and you're getting a better response. Be glad in the Lord and rejoice, ye righteous, and shout for joy, all ye that are upright in heart. So righteousness simply means right use of your mind. That's all that means. To be righteous means that your thoughts are centered on that which is good, that which is beautiful, that which is holy, that which is godlike, if you will. And when you focus your mind on those thoughts, your actions follow suit. Your actions follow suit. Your choices follow suit. You literally become a better person, a new person. It doesn't mean that you're going to become a born-again Christian. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to join a church. It doesn't mean that you're going to have to give up your craft. It simply means that you're using your magic in a way that actually has long-lasting results. The only way to have long-lasting results in life is fundamental change. If you want to change your circumstances, you need to change who you are as a person. That's it. You have to change who you are in order for your circumstances to have any long-lasting change. Doing a spell for something here or for something there is really not that effective. It may or may not give you the results that you're looking for. The only thing that's going to give results that are meaningful it's like if you don't do a spell to get rid of your debt and then don't change the thought forms within your mind that were creating the debt to begin with, most of which had nothing to do with finances, most of those thoughts. Debt was simply a symptom of a deeper issue, oftentimes unforgiveness. Usually people who debt heavily have a lot of unresolved resentments and or guilt. And so this kind of psalm is really helpful for people who debt. But whatever it is, whatever your recurring problems are or big problems, they need you to be changed fundamentally as a person in order for those things to change. And that's the power of the Psalms. They will change us fundamentally for the better. All right, so hopefully this was helpful to you. As always, just if you're using the candle and the talisman, which are both optional, just do let the candle burn down and out. That's a sense of completion in your mind. And then just take the talisman and hide it away somewhere where people won't see it. Let it sit flat so that it's facing up, and don't put anything on top of it. Then it will be broadcasting this energy to you. When you have more than 3 of these, then you want to deactivate one. You don't want more than 3 working at a time, so you don't dilute your workings. And when you're ready to deactivate a talisman, all you do is rip it. And when you rip it, do it mindfully, being very aware of what you're feeling inside your energy body, because all of that energy will be released into your aura and it becomes a permanent part of who you are. Yes, this is symbolic, but you must respect the symbol. You must respect the symbol, and that way your deep mind will incorporate it. I love you very much. I can't wait to be with you again. Blessed be.